low-fat diets and why they are a horrible idea. And I'm curious, have you been on a low-fat diet before? Or have you ever been worried that you're eating too much fat? Whether it may be for weight gain, or it just makes you feel unwell or anything else. Go ahead, let me know in the comments if you've ever experienced that or thought about that in the past. And go ahead and let me know in the comments if you've ever been on a low-fat diet before. I have, so I will say that clearly. Back in college, I was on a low-fat diet. And again, this was when I was getting my nutrition degree, so I knew the importance of having fat in my diet, and I wanted to minimize it as much as possible because I wanted to lose weight at the time. And I was literally starving my body. So I would get like just the smallest amount of fat in meals, thinking that I was getting adequate amounts based on a software that I was using to calculate my macronutrients. And I was literally starving my body because I was not getting enough fat. And what was happening is my body functions, certain ones were actually shutting down. And I was getting cravings. I was eating a lot of fortified foods, which are typical on the I can't talk today. They're typical on the standard American diet. And so those fortified foods, I was getting lots of fortified minerals and vitamins and nutrients, and my body wasn't able to absorb them. So even though I was eating, I was constantly hungry. My body constantly felt like it was starving, and I wasn't nourishing my body. So I'm curious if this sounds familiar to you at all. Have you experienced this as well? For me, actually, this was a point in my life where my health declined. Because of this crazy diet that I was on, trying to restrict my fat, there were many negative implications to it. And I'm going to share what the benefits of fat are in your diet in just a moment. So when I was on this diet, my cravings were really strong because my body wanted nourishment. So I was looking for food. I was looking for nourishment in foods. And I wasn't giving them to myself until these crazy cravings came over. And I was literally, all of my dieting would go out the door because I would see the ice cream sundae bar over at UConn, and I would go crazy and have this huge ice cream sundae. And I wouldn't realize that I was actually saving myself with that ice cream sundae because I would beat myself up over it and be like, oh my gosh, you caved in, you got this ice cream, etc. However, it was exactly what my body wanted and needed, maybe minus all the sugar. But my body was craving fat. Now, why was my body craving fat, and why is your body maybe craving fat if you are on a low-fat diet? So there are multiple important functions that fat does in our body. These are main functions, and we need fat for these functions every single day. Now, we're going to go in depth with these, and if you'd like my free mini course on the 4 secrets to gut health, go ahead and click on the link below. If you're watching on YouTube, I'll post that in the description and the comments. Go ahead and get my free mini course. It has a cheat sheet as well, so depending on if you want to go in depth or you just want to skim through, you can get that information. And with this information, you'll be able to expand and explore where gut health can be beneficial for you in your health journey, and how it can also reclaim and activate your vitality and reclaim your health and wellness. So what we're going to do first is let's go into fat, right? What does it do? So one of the main functions of fat is our body actually creates hormones from it. So certain hormones are created from protein and fat. So if we don't have fat, we're going to be not able to make the hormones that we need. And certain hormones are only made from cholesterol. So we need cholesterol. And I won't get started into why low cholesterol diets are not ideal and why things like statins are really unhealthy and dangerous to take. But one of the main reasons is that our body needs these fats and cholesterols to make hormones. The second main component is that there are certain vitamins called fat-soluble vitamins. These are vitamins A, D, E, and K. And what fat soluble means is we need fat in order to absorb them. So if you are eating something like carrots, which are high in vitamin A, but you're not eating them with fat, your body is actually not able to absorb that vitamin A. So you can eat all the carrots in the world, but if you're not eating them with fat, your body's actually not able to absorb and utilize that vitamin A in those carrots. There's multiple other sources of food that are like that. So especially if you're having a salad, that was one of the things I used to do, is I used to have salads without any dressing on them, not realizing that the dressing was actually what was letting my body utilize that fat and utilize the nourishment from the vegetables and the salad. So that's one quick tip, is whenever you're eating vegetables, and most vegetables do have a number of these fat soluble vitamins in there, you want fat with the meal that you're having it in. The next piece is it actually supports gut health. So again, if you haven't yet, go ahead and check out my free mini course on gut health, The Secrets. And one of these is that fat actually supports gut health. What it does is it helps to rebuild the gut lining, and it also is important that you're able to absorb the fat. So that's something else that we'll go deeper into during the mini course, but also on a different video, is that your gut health needs to be in shape and your body needs to be healthy enough to be able to absorb the fat. So some people eat a lot of fat and it goes right through them. And what that is, it's a sign that your body needs support. So it can be structural, it can be an enzyme issue, it may be your organs, your liver and gallbladder that needs support to be able to digest fat. So this is something that is important to note if you've tried eating fat before, but you've felt unwell, maybe you've gotten really nauseous, maybe you've gotten diarrhea after it, or like greasy stools, or you just feel really heavy and like not feeling well. Those are all signs that your body is not able to digest and absorb the fat correctly. So this is something that I work closely with my clients on, because it's crucial to be able to, one, have something, eat something, but your body needs to be able to utilize it to get maximum benefit from it. So the next thing is fat actually supports the brain and nervous system. So our brain and nerves are coated in fat. So that helps to conduct electricity, and it helps the impulses move from nerve to nerve. So again, if we're not eating fat, if we're not eating adequate amounts of fat, our nervous system isn't going to work as well. And our nervous system dictates literally everything. Our physiology, our emotions, there's so many things that the nervous system does. Next is eating a fat diet, a high fat diet even, helps to stabilize blood sugar. So if we don't have fat with our meals, if we have a lot of sugar, if we have a lot of carbohydrates without a balance of fat, then what happens to our blood sugar is it's doing this all day. And then we get cravings, we get hangry, we may feel like we're going to pass out when our blood sugar is low. We may feel, again, almost dizzy or unwell if our blood sugar is really high. This contributes to diabetes. So one of the things is that you want to eat fat in order to stabilize that blood sugar and actually help prevent diabetes. The next thing is your skin can get really dry because what we take in helps through the inside out. So many of us put on lotions every day. Well, did you know that by eating a high-fat diet, your skin doesn't dry out as much? You actually get that moisturization from within. Same thing with hair loss. If you have a low-fat diet, you may be experiencing hair loss. Your immune system gets weak, and you'll have vitamin deficiencies for the reason that I mentioned above. That when you are eating food with A, D, E, and K vitamins, but you're not having fat with it, your body's not able to absorb it. So the next thing that we want to talk about is the different kinds of fat, right? So there are certain fats that are quote unquote good, and then there are others that are quote unquote bad. And I want to throw that whole paradigm upside down on its head, because the people that have been telling you this have been paid off by the industry, by corporations, to tell you certain things that are just straight lies. So things like vegetable oil, canola oil, rapeseed oil, vegetable oils, sunflower oil, throw them out. That is something that I can confidently say for everyone. These are unstable oils, and when they get oxidized, they actually create a toxic load in your body. They are free radicals. So they actually increase inflammation in your body. Now, on the flip side of that are things like lard and tallow and coconut oil, saturated fats, things that have been called bad for you. Those are actually the things that you want to consume. Now, quality is really important there. You want to make sure that the animals are pure, that you're not getting tainted meat. Things like ground beef sometimes have things like pink slime in them. So you want to make sure that you're getting your meat products from a very high quality source. But I want you to know that things like lard and tallow are actually very healthy for you. A healthy amount of fat in a diet varies greatly person to person. And again, this is where the customization comes in. But you want about 30 to even 60 or 70% of fat in your diet. That's for what your body's utilizing and what will actually keep you satiated and what will support the bodily functions the best. Now, that may seem like a lot of fat to you if you've been on low-fat diets before. And if you were to jump from nothing to all of that, yes, your body would revolt. Your body would not do well with it. And that's where you need to have a system in place where there's someone helping you learn how to support your body as you're introducing the fat and getting your body used to using fat again, getting your body out of starvation mode. Now, I want to debunk a quick myth where people think that if you're eating fat, you're going to become fat. I am the fittest and not the tiniest, but a very small size, and I eat a high fat diet. And this is something that I don't count calories with. I don't monitor how much fat I'm intaking. I eat fat. I eat full sources of fat, natural sources of fat. That is one of my staples of my diet. There's not one day, not one meal that I'll go through where I don't have fat. So I want to just debunk that myth. If you think that eating fat will make you fat, it is false. And at the same time, I want to mention it's the type and quality of fat that you're consuming. So if you have vegetable oils, if you have sunflower oil, canola oil, margarines, spreads, all that stuff, throw it out. Okay? If you want help with more of the nutrition aspects, I'm here to help. I'm here to create custom plans for you, and I'm here to guide you through that process of how to support your body as you're making the change. And this is only just one of the pillars of my 5-pillar proprietary process. Because as a holistic and integrative doctor of physical therapy, I'm here to help you activate your radiant health and reclaim your vitality. What we do with that is one, nutrition is a piece, but then we go into gut health. Gut health is very different than just a probiotic. It's very different than, eating probiotic foods. There is a whole process that I teach you and that I walk you through when we're looking at gut health. Number 3 is emotional energetics. So things like your emotions, your energy field, these things, you may not have seen a direct correlation with them yet. And when I start making comments and telling you things, you'll be like, oh, duh, of course. So have you ever been so nervous that you've actually gotten diarrhea before? Or you felt butterflies in your stomach? Or, you've been so worried about something that you get constipated. These are all signs of your emotions literally playing a part in your physiology. The same thing goes with stress. It goes for all sorts of things. So when we take a look at our emotions, whether they may be anger, sadness, even guilt or shame, etc., they're all affecting our body and our physiology, and they can be preventing you from radiant health and wellness. So if you are someone who has been looking at nutrition and gut health but not seeing results, this may be the piece that's missing for you. And this is something that I spend a lot of time with clients on, because it is so crucial and plays such a huge component that many of us may not even recognize it until we start seeing the shifts and the changes. Now, the same goes for our nervous system. So have you ever heard of something called fight or flight, where our body is literally reacting to a response? So maybe you're stuck in traffic and you slam on the brakes, so someone is maybe cutting you off, or maybe you're, you get a text from your boss or an email from your boss, and all of a sudden your body goes into this reaction, right? Your heart rate starts racing, maybe you get sweaty. What's happening is your body's going into fight or flight, and at the same time, your digestion shuts down. Many of your physiological kind of baseline functions shut down so that you can survive. Your body is made to do this, and this is a great survival technique. The key is you want to be able to get out of fight or flight quickly and not stay in fight or flight for too long. This is what happens with many people, especially when we have been really chronically in fight or flight. So some of us are just in fight or flight nonstop and we're not able to get out of it. So again, when our nervous system is actually in that fight or flight state, we can't digest our food, we can't perform the physiological functions that our body needs to maintain baseline. So with this said, we want to get into something called rest and digest, which is the parasympathetic state. And that state is where your body's able to repair, regenerate, again, digest, absorb nutrients, etc. So again, if you've been focusing on gut health, if you've been focusing on nutrition, but you haven't taken a look into your nervous system, this is a big gap and maybe one of the reasons why, again, you're not feeling better. The fifth pillar for me is the divine intuition and intuitive eating. What this is we have a subconscious knowing, we have an innate knowing within us, what is best for us. We have all this wisdom within. It's a connection with our spirituality, with the higher power. And using this connection, we can actually access all sorts of intuition and wisdom for us, for our families, for our little ones. And using this intuition, we can decide what is best for us to eat in the given moment. Do I need this supplement? How much of the supplement do I need? And this is really empowering because when you learn this skill by yourself, you can actually make these decisions on your own. You don't need to rely on practitioners. So it's learning this skill that really frees you for the rest of your life. So these are a quick kind of synopsis of the 5 pillars that I use when I work with clients. And each client gets a little different spin on things depending on where they are in their health journey, what they need in their health journey. So if this is something that you're interested in learning more about, go ahead and get the free mini course on gut health and the 4 secrets to radiant health. And you get the cheat sheet as well, so get that in the comments below. And at the same time, if you're ready to really take this step forward and make this change in your health, if you're serious and committed and ambitious to turn your life around, to transform your experience so that you can have all the energy that you want, you can feel healthy, you can feel well, you can feel like you can really enjoy your life and enjoy the fruits of your labor. I do offer a discounted consultation. So again, that link is going to be right below as well. If you have any questions, feel free to send me a DM. I'm more than happy to help support you on your journey and give you the guidance and teach you the skills so that you can feel empowered on your health journey and ultimately activate this radiant health, wellness, and reclaim your vitality.